Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today I am going to be still working on my Jasper C. You guys have seen this in several WIP and Chats. Unfortunately, I was sick this week, so I did not get a lot of diamond painting in. And that means, as usual, I am behind on what I want to get done. However, if you saw the video yesterday, if you didn't, go check it out. I did finish 2 other small kits for DP for Pets. And we are rapidly approaching the end. The event ends at midnight tonight. So if you're not finished yet, you have a few more hours. So keep working. I'm going to move things around a bit, zoom into where I'm going to be working, and I'll be right back for the rest of the WIP and Chat. Don't go anywhere. All right, let me get my timer started here. Get some drills poured out. And then let me get started. So let me start off with my diamond painting life. You guys, oh, my brain already. My real life. What's going on in my real life? So much. So much. So let's see. What do I want to start out with? Last week, I had 2 different appointments. On Monday, I had an eye doctor's appointment. So went to that. No big deal. My eyes are about the same as usual. My prescription has changed very little in the last probably 10 years or so. I had LASIK surgery, probably about 15 years ago, and have enjoyed not having to wear glasses since then. Now, I will say that I had very, very poor vision. The LASIK helped me immensely. I went from being nearsighted to being farsighted. So that's been a bit of an adjustment, but things seem to be holding up well. I do need reading glasses for up close. I could order bifocals. I did that a couple of years ago, and all they did was give me a headache, so I have opted not to get any more of those. She had to dilate my eyes, which is not unusual, but it's always so much fun. It was super hot that day and super bright outside, so they were very concerned that I had sunglasses, which I did. But I didn't get a lot done on Monday after that because basically I came home and took a nap because you can't do anything. You can't, or at least I can't watch TV, can't get on my iPad, can't be on the computer. Too bright to do a whole lot of things, so I just took a nap because I figured that was easier. And my husband and I watched some TV and called it a day. I think I was anxious anyway because Tuesday I had a dentist appointment, and you guys know how I feel about the dentist. I like my dentist. I don't like going to the dentist. So my son and I had gone a couple weeks ago for our cleanings, and I had a cavity, and so I had to go back and have that filled. I get in there and she always says to me, "How are you?" And I always say, "Well, I'll be better when we're done here." And she laughed, and then she's looking at my teeth and she said, "You know, this is a very small cavity. So if you want, I can try and drill on it basically with no anesthetic." And she said, "I can give you the shot if you want to numb it up. I can try and do it without, and then if you decide you need it, we can do it then. It's whatever you want to do." So I opted to let her try and drill on it without giving me anything. It really wasn't that bad, so it must have been a pretty small cavity. It got a little zingy a couple of times, but I made it through, and I was super proud of myself for actually letting her drill on it without giving me anesthesia. Although I told my husband it was super weird to walk out of there without half my face feeling numb from the anesthesia. But it was way less painful. I mean, when they have to give you that numbing in the back of your jaw, that's what it feels like. Sometimes it feels like they're hitting bone, and I just, ugh. So I was super proud of myself that I was brave enough to let her try. And she was suitably impressed. She's like, "I can't believe you're going to trust me to do this." And I said, there aren't very many people I would let. Kind of sad that we're going to be leaving her because I really do like her as a dentist. I don't know if I'll ever meet another one I trust enough to say that they can do that, but we'll see. Maybe I'm just finally getting over some of my anxiety. Some of it I think is less. My anxiety is less because I know I'm taking better care of my teeth. When I was younger, I did not floss like I should have. Having constant dental professionals tell you to floss, we all know we should floss, but do we all do it? I didn't. And I finally had a dental hygienist who, instead of kind of beating me over the head and trying to make me feel bad for it, said, you know, you already have a lot of anxiety coming to the dentist. It would be a lot less if you knew coming in that you'd done everything you could, wouldn't it? And just kind of sort of a guilt trip, I guess, but also just a different way of making me look at it to go, oh, she's right. If I did a few more things, maybe it wouldn't be as bad. And it hasn't been. In the years that I've been flossing more routinely, I have not had nearly as many cavities as I used to. I think I just kind of used to figure, oh, I just have genetically bad teeth, which I still think is true. But that doesn't mean that I can't do things to mitigate that. And I think before I just kind of had thrown up my hands about everything instead of trying to do what I could to make it not as bad. So wherever Marty is, thank you, Marty. She really came at it in the right way for me to make it make sense to me. So then hubby and I went and ran some errands. I was riding on a high, and then we get home and so we get home. First of all, my daughter's there. So I'm immediately like, why are you here? You didn't tell me you were coming over. I'm immediately, what's wrong? What happened? Nothing was wrong. Nothing happened. She just wanted to know if we would keep an eye on her apartment for her. She's going to be going on a trip with some of her friends, and she's going to be gone for about a week. She said, I've left my apartment empty and just let it set for a couple of days while I've been away, but she's going to be gone over a week. And she's like, I just don't want to leave it set and not have anybody have any eyes on it. And I said, no, I understand that. And she didn't know whether we were still going to be here or not, because we don't really know what's going on with the house yet. And I said, well, we don't have it on the market yet. So while we don't have it on the market, it's no big deal for us to come over and check on it. So that's all she wanted. And I was panicking over nothing. So that was good. And she's actually got herself a list of things that she needs to get together and do. We've got to get her car title switched over to her. She's looking around for car insurance. You guys, why is car insurance so expensive? She is over 25. She has a good job. She lives by herself. She pays all of her bills. All she has to carry is liability because her car, paying for a comprehensive is not going to be worth it for her. It's going to cost so much money, and she's going to get almost nothing for her car anyway because her car is so old. So just a liability, because of course you're required to carry liability by our state. Just a liability, they want $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. That is half of what they would give her for her car. So in 2 years, she might as well just have put that money in her pocket because she'd come out ahead. But of course you can't because you're required by law to carry the liability. I'm like, that's so ridiculous. She doesn't have any accidents on her record. She's a good driver. She's probably the safest driver out of all of us. It's just ridiculous. So she's still shopping around. And I told my husband at this point, like, Geico, Progressive, one of those places, I would rather see her buy from one of those places because all she wants is liability. This is not put money back in my pocket, help me get a car if something happens to mine, that sort of thing. Crazy. I mean, it's ridiculous anyway. But anyway, that tangent aside, she has a whole list that she'd made up of things that she wanted to get done before she left, things she wants to get done before we leave. She was just being very grown up and organized, and I was super proud of her. So, all right, I think I've filled everything in except for this big chunk of multi-placing that I need to do. So let me grab that color. So got everything worked out with her, sent her on her way. She went back home to finish doing whatever she needed to do. So a little backstory for the rest of this. Several months ago, when hubby was still driving out to work and being gone for the week, staying in the motel, he was having an issue where he kept getting these weird requests on his phone saying that his Apple ID was trying to be used in all these weird places. Japan, Brazil, just weird places that we absolutely knew were not him. So, after several times of this happening, we went out and did some Google searching, and there was apparently a scam going around with Apple phones, which he has, where these people were getting these reset password requests. Some scam, hacker scam, they would want you to reset your password, and then when you would go in to do it, Apple has two-factor authentication. You would get a one-time passcode like you get from a bank or whatever to verify your identity. And then these people would somehow know that you were doing that. And then they would call, oh, I'm from Apple. I need your one-time passcode. And people would give it to them. And they would basically have everything off their phone stolen. So if you had wallet stuff tapped into it, if you had a bank app, all that kind of stuff, they might have access to it. This is why I don't keep any bank stuff on my phone ever. Anyway, I never had any issues with it, but my husband did. And I said, so you've gotten on some kind of list somewhere where your info's been sold. So he never got a request to reset his password. He just kept getting these weird requests saying, is this you in this place? And he was able to just say, don't allow. So that happened for probably a week or so. We just kept an eye on it to see if anything else weird happened, and nothing did. So after a month or so, my husband went in and actually reset his password just in case. Everything has been fine since then. Well, fast forward to a couple of weeks ago, my husband gets a voicemail from American Express saying, hey, we have gotten your application for this card, but we're missing information. You need to call us. Now, my husband and I hadn't applied for an American Express card, so I'm immediately going, this is some sort of scam. Don't call the number that they leave. Look up the number yourself, find a number for American Express and call them. Well, hubby being hubby just went, oh, it's no big deal. It's just a mistake, blah, blah, blah. So he didn't do anything. A couple of days later, we get a letter in the mail from American Express. Hey, we've gotten your application, but it's missing information. We need you to call us so that we can get the information before we can approve this card. And I'm like, at that point, okay, seriously, you need to call and find out what's going on. Someone's trying to steal your identity and get credit in your name. He gets a number for American Express. He calls them, and basically they tell us, so the letter had his name on it, but it was spelled wrong. But it had our address on it. However, the lady's like, well, what's your social security number? And he's like, I don't want to give it to you because I don't want anybody to have it. And she says, well, we've already flagged this as fraud. It was for whatever reason. They wouldn't tell us why, but they had already flagged it as possible fraud, which is why they had left the voicemail and sent us the letter. So she's asking him for a social, and she finally says, well, just give me the last four of your social. Not the whole thing, just the last four. So he does, and she says, okay, yeah, that's not what's on here. I don't know if that's why they had flagged it or for what reason. I don't know. But she said, we'll flag it as a fraud request. It won't go through. It won't affect our credit. And she said, I'll transfer you to our fraud department. Well, she transfers him and the call drops. So I said, we need to go out and look at your credit report and see about doing a credit freeze, making it so that this can't happen. So my husband's never really done any of this before. He's never really dealt with credit stuff. I've always been the one, I mean, he fills out the application, but I'm the one that pays all the bills and everything. And I used to check our credit report every year religiously, and I just kind of got out of the habit of it. And I guess I need to get back into doing it. So if you didn't know, by law, you get one free credit report a year from all three bureaus. There are three credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. And yes, you have to keep up with all three because different lenders use different ones, and you have a different credit score depending on which one they're looking at because they don't all figure it the same way. So we went out and looked at his credit report, the free annual one that we get. Nothing looked hinky, thank goodness. We didn't see anything that wasn't a card that we didn't know about or anything like that. Looking up information on what to do in case you think there's been identity theft or attempted identity theft, they said put a freeze on your credit. So basically, because of course you can't do it with all three bureaus at once, you have to set up an account with all three bureaus and then put a freeze on it. And you can do it yourself for free. It doesn't cost anything. Now, be careful because, of course, they want you to pay for it. And that's the options they send you to every time. There is a free option and a way to do it for free, but of course, they want you to pay for their monitor and freezing. You don't need to do that. You can go in and freeze it and unfreeze it with your account information yourself. And I told my husband, let's just put a freeze on yours. We're not going to be applying for anything anytime soon that anybody needs to be pulling our credit. We're not buying a car or trying to get a house loan or anything right now. When we do that, that's the other thing. We froze it at all three bureaus. So if we do decide that we're going to do try and get like a mortgage loan or something, we can ask the bank, which bureau do you pull from, and only unfreeze that one so they can do the credit request instead of unfreezing all of them. And I did actually read that experts are now saying that you should check your credit scores, your credit report 4 times a year, so once a quarter. Now, you get one free a year. After that, you can request it as many times as you want, but by law, they can only charge you for a maximum of $14.50 per report. Now, I'm assuming that's per bureau, so that's $14.50 times 3, because I'm sure they all charge the maximum, because why wouldn't they? But just to keep an eye on it and make sure that you're not seeing something that you didn't apply for so that you can nip it in the bud and notify people really quickly. I debated over whether or not it was worth it to do like LifeLock or one of those places, but honestly, I don't know. Just the whole credit thing seems like a giant scam in and of itself anyway. One of the things I noticed when we were looking at my husband's credit is that every 6 months when we pay our insurance premiums, our car insurance premiums, our car insurance company checks our credit, which is complete BS as far as I'm concerned. What our credit has to do with how our driving record or anything is beyond me. I guess they're checking our credit to make sure we can still pay the premiums, but I don't think they should be allowed to pull our credit for that. That's just so frustrating to me. I don't like that these credit score companies basically get all of your information anyway. My daughter is very adamant that she never wants to have a credit card. She doesn't want to have anything to do with the credit score companies. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure you have a credit score because somehow these people manage to get everybody's information. Even if you've never applied for a credit card, you've had applications sent to you. I think every credit card company sends an application to every kid who's ever enrolled in a college. I know both my son and daughter have gotten applications. Neither one of them have applied for a card, but I know they've gotten applications. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know how you avoid getting one if just the act of having car insurance means that you have a credit score, which seems insane. Like, how much information does a company need about you? They're already reaming us for the premiums. Anyway, credit score rant aside, it looks like, thankfully, American Express caught that it was a fraudulent application, so nothing happened with it, but I definitely will be more proactive in making sure that I'm checking it more often than I have been. Like I said, I used to be in the habit of checking it once a year. I just kind of got out of that habit a couple of years ago. It looks like I should get back into that habit just for our own peace of mind. So that was my exciting week. that was Tuesday, and then Tuesday night, Wednesday is when I got sick. So I didn't get a whole lot of anything accomplished Wednesday, Thursday, or even really Friday. So I'm slowly recovering. I still don't feel 100%. Oh my goodness, you guys. I think I'm going to be doing a lot of editing. Some bird outside the window that won't be quiet, and cars with no mufflers driving by, people out mowing their lawn. Maybe I should just wait until it's dark to start filming so people will be quiet. Or maybe I'll move to the basement where it's harder for all the noise to... I told my husband, I go out in the living room, dining room, and it doesn't seem that loud, but I come in here and shut the door to film, and it seems like everything is right outside the window. Crazy. Anyway, so yeah, last week was interesting. Still, like I said, recovering from whatever bug I picked up. I don't know what it is. I did not feel good for 2 or 3 days. I still am not back to 100%, like I said. Every so often, I suddenly am queasy again. Periodically, I'm just super tired. Yesterday, I just went up and down the stairs a couple of times. My husband was working on stuff in the basement, had stuff he wanted to show me, and I was wiped out just from going up and down the stairs once. So I certainly don't bounce back like I used to, that's for sure. Hubby's busy watching CFL. It is week 4 or 5 of the CFL. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get used to watching football in June. That seems so bizarre. It probably won't take me long to get used to it, though. All right, I think that's everything I wanted to tell you guys about my regular life. So let's move on to my diamond painting life. What's going on in my diamond painting world? It's been a busy month. This has been the month of DP for Pets. A huge thank you to everybody who has participated thus far. If you were kind enough to make any donations to your local shelters, humane societies, whatever, huge thank you. I really appreciate that. And so do they, I'm sure. If you aren't able to donate, no worries. It's not a requirement. I have been loving all the pictures and the progress posts that everyone has been doing. This last week while I was sick, I didn't post as much as I wanted to, but you guys have been kind of carrying that for me, so I appreciate that. Some really gorgeous work that you guys have done. I am in the process of, so many of you have already filled out the exit form, so I spent a bunch of time yesterday going through that, sorting through those, getting the pictures ready so that I can put them all together in that final video montage when I do the final prize drawing. That will probably be sometime next week. I don't know for sure exactly when, but sometime next week. The exit form is open until midnight tonight, so you have until then to finish up, take your picture, and then fill out the exit form. As long as Google says you filled it out before midnight, you'll be good. I'll stick a link to the exit form down below in case you missed it. And yeah, just a super huge thank you to everybody who's participated. This one this year has been really fun. I managed to get 3 kits done. I finished my Yorkie, which was the one I had planned to do, and then I finished the Basset Hound and the Unicorn as well. So 3 finishes for me, even if 2 of them were kind of small ones. A finish is a finish. I think they both turned out great. The Basset Hound had the fairy dust drills in it. The Unicorn had quite a few ABs in it. And I'm actually really surprised in going through a lot of the people who've already filled out their exit form. I don't have a lot of duplicates. There have been a couple of years where it seemed like everybody was kind of doing the same 10 paintings. No, there's a ton of variety this year. And I told my husband there's a lot of smaller diamond art clubs that I had never seen before. A lot of smaller paintings in general that I'd never seen before. But I'm making myself a shopping list as you guys finish stuff. Oh, this is cute. Let me get this one. Oh, this one is adorable. Where is that from? Oh, this one is so pretty. Where did that come from? So you guys are expanding my horizons while we're doing this event. So thank you for that as well. I also finished the Jetsons. So if you guys haven't seen that finish, go check it out. I absolutely loved working on that kit. I do still wish it had been a bit bigger. I think the size was a bit small. Not tons bigger. And it looked okay at the size that it was, but I wish it had been just a little bit bigger. Of course, I also wish it would have had Astro in it, but that's okay. I'm still waiting for them to do the little mini kits of them, and maybe I'll get an Astro that way. We'll see. So I got, what is that, 4 kits. I did my 3 for DP for pets, and then I finished the Jetsons. So I have 4 finishes at least. I don't know if I finished more than that. Sadly, I did not finish Jasper C. I really wanted to get this one finished this month. Not going to happen, obviously. I'm not even halfway done, so there's no way I'm going to get this done in just a couple of days. If I did like a marathon stay up for the next 2 days, maybe, but I'm not going to do that, so I'm not going to get this one done. But it is quite a bit of multi-placing in sections. Like you can see, this big section here is nothing but multi-placing. That will make it go a little bit faster. And then as I get finished with it, I can move on to my belly dancer kit. And then I really have to stop and think about what I want to do next. My belly dancer kit, this one in my belly dancer kit will be the last of my 5 oldest kits. So that will finish that goal. I wanted to use this one or my belly dancer one to help finish up the DAC challenge this year, but they don't have enough colors. This one only has like 40 some colors, and belly dancer only has 38, and I need a kit, a Diamond Art Club kit that has over 50 colors. So I've done my oldest Diamond Art Club. I've done a Spangler, that counts as my favorite artist. I finished a 2024 release. The Jetsons counted for that. So I need to finish something that is a holiday one. And I have a kit picked out, but I don't know if I'm going to do that one. It's a Christmas kit, so we'll see if I get to that one or not. And then I need one that has over 50 colors. And I just haven't come across one so far that fits that criteria. The DAC challenge and the diamond painting bingo, I've kind of been doing those as I go along through the year. I don't know if I'm going to do any other diamond painting events for now. Once DP for Vets is over, or DP for Pets is over, I don't know that I'm going to participate in anything else until DP for Vets in November. Just give myself some time off, time to get the move ready, all that good stuff. Time to actually move. It's starting to feel more real. We're very close to getting the house on the market, and we just have a couple more things to finish up inside the house. And now there's a train. Hopefully you guys can't hear that, or hopefully I can edit it out. Anyway, note to self, I should not film at this time of day because apparently it is very busy outside and is not a good time for me to film. Anyway, I think we're very close to being done. We're hopeful to have the house on the market this week. I know I keep saying that, but I think really it's going to happen this week now. Then we'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't get stuck waiting forever and ever for someone to buy it, because that would stink. But it is what it is. We are pretty much done packing up stuff upstairs. So now it's just a matter of everything is kind of congregated in the basement. We're going to need to go buy some more totes and everything too. But so weirdly, I think July might actually be more productive for me as far as diamond painting goes, because we will already have the house on the market. It will be more of a maintenance situation than us trying to get everything ready and doing that. We have an appointment set up with someone to talk about our tax issues, to get those questions answered. So it just feels like everything is kind of finally coming together, maybe. Maybe that's just me dreaming, but it feels like it anyway. So I just feel like I'll have more time to diamond paint because I won't be spending time actually painting my house, walls, repairing walls, painting doors, packing stuff. I mean, I'll still do some packing, but the majority of it is done. Even my diamond painting stuff is mostly packed away. So yeah, hopeful that maybe we'll be doing that soon. And after we have our tax consult, then I'll have some of my questions asked about when I want to launch my second channel. So yeah, lots of stuff. But so like I said, yeah, weirdly, in theory, I should have more time to diamond paint in July than I've had in June. Now, yes, I was busy with DP for Pets, but I wasn't super busy. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of my time to do it. The weekly drawings and getting stuff sent out, I think there's more prep before the event than there is during. Like I said, a lot of what I did during was just doing posts to encourage you guys to post progress pics, which you all did, and it was awesome. So thank you for doing that. If you're not done, keep posting them. Like I said, you have until midnight tonight. If you want to post in the Facebook group your finished pick, feel free to do that. Just remember, it has to be in the exit form so that I have it. And then we'll see who wins the 2 prize packages. I'm excited to see who wins. Like I said, so many awesome kits. I just can't wait to see how it ends. Okay, but before it ends, what do we need to do? We need to have our last weekly giveaway. So let me zoom out here so you can see this big whole chunk of this color, and I still have quite a bit to do over here. And then some more of the kind of abstract greens and stuff over here. This has really been an interesting kit to do because it's abstract, so there's really no rhyme or reason to where anything goes. So it's very meditative, even more so than a lot of other diamond painting kits. All right, so we need to have our final prize, weekly prize drawings. This is weekly giveaway number 5. Hopefully this is in focus. Let's spin the wheel for the last weekly giveaway and see who wins. Gabby Bean. Congratulations, Gabby. Gabby, if you will send me an email, my email is diamondpaintinganonymous@gmail.com, and let me know what your mailing address is, and I will get that weekly prize package mailed out to you. All right, guys, I think that's it for me today. Like I said, this has turned out to not be a great time to film. Cars and trains and birds and lawnmowers. Oh my. All right. This is like I said, that was the last weekly drawing for DP for Pets. The event ends tonight. I'll stick a link to the exit form down below. Make sure you filled out both the entry and the exit form and have included your finish pick so that I can enter you in the final prize drawing. Remember, no matter how many kits you completed, you only get 1 entry in the final prize drawing. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.